Bienvenidos! I'm back one more time with another side-by-side graphic comparison and game analysis of Castle Crashers, respectively on Xbox One and Xbox 360. Now, the main purpose and reason for me doing this side-by-side comparison is why, if anybody would ask, and if everybody will ask, why would you do this? It's an old game. For those who don't know, well, it's a welcome, fresh interpretation and introduction. And for those who do, well, you know, you can view and see for yourself and see why you enjoy it. Main reason is Castle Crashers is one of the only and few and maybe only game that the developers, Behemoth, did it the right way. They were the developers and they were also the publishers. But what I mean by saying they did it the right way is Castle Crashers, if you bought it on the Xbox 360 and you had the Xbox One, when they brought out the Xbox One version, which was the remastered, it was given to you for not 1 cent. It was absolutely free. Yes, it was for a limited time, but they gave you at least a month and a half to make sure that you got it. I believe it might have been even up to 2 months. No other person has done this in this generation but them, with the exception of maybe Limbo because Microsoft provided it. But the publisher themselves and developer were the ones who did this. They made this happen. And even if you didn't get to download it while it was free, the big point that I want to point out as well is they only charged you $5, not $15, not $20 like the game originally cost, but $5 on the Xbox One. Now on the PlayStation, no, they couldn't do this because Castle Crashers was exclusive for Xbox 360 for a very long time. I don't know how they did it on the PSN network because I believe it came out late in the cycle on PS3. I could be wrong, but if I'm not, at least I touched bases. So let's get it in. Let's start it. Press start to my wonderful assistants. Press start and let's get it rocking. Here are the differences. Right off the back, I'm going to tell you audio. The audio has been remastered where it has a more high definition type quality sound. Now, this game is a cel shaded game in the same vein as cartoons like Ed, Edd and Eddy, okay? Or even a Samurai Showdown, or Samurai Jack rather, or Johnny Bravo, if you will. It has a very Cartoon Network-esque type of feel. Difference being, the game is extremely rude and extremely violent. It's made by the same guys who created the game called Alien Hominid, which was also out on the PS2 and then later came to Xbox 360 and the PSN network. Now, changes in the game. Basically, you might not notice it for a fact on this video quality or image that I'm presenting to you at this moment, okay? But I can definitely tell you it's basically the main focus and the main changes are frame rate. On the, you see here, my right, which you would see on TV, and my left. The left is the Xbox One, the right is the Xbox 360. On the 360, the game is in 30 frames per second. These are two panels of the same quality and the same caliber. They're the same brand, and their settings are basically fine-tuned for each respective console, based on their weaknesses and options and what they offer you as far as video setting fidelity. So, as you can see here with the opening of the game, I don't know if my son or my daughter, whichever one did it first, cut, but you see there was a little CG. First and foremost, the frames on the 360 are 30 frames per second. The frames on the Xbox One is 60 frames per second. Now, as far as the detail goes, they look almost identical. From every single set piece to every single detail and drawing on canvas on that screen. Now, the loading time seems to be, oddly enough, a little faster for the Xbox 360 version. I could be wrong, or I could be imagining things, but that's the way it looked like to me. Also, the clarity on the Xbox One version is obviously of a native 1080p. Both of these TVs are 1080p and 60 frames, or 60 hertz, if you will. They're not 240 or 120 hertz. These are just your standardized 60 hertz. So there's no cheating here. This is full-on 60 frames on the Xbox One and 30 frames on the Xbox 360. This is a 4-player co-op game. This is in the same caliber as an Ori and the Blind Forest. This is what I consider a AAA indie arcade masterpiece, or game, if you will. If you never played it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those games that you can pick up and couch co-op with your kids, with your friends. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's one of the very few games that came out respectively on 360 and on this generation for Xbox One that you could actually play co-op online. God damn it, it's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of beautiful implications and implementations of features that we want to see on games. You can actually play with your friends and have a blast. This game is one of the best beat-em-ups of its generation. The game never gets old. It has a lot of replayability because you have like a slew of weapons, almost 50 or 70 weapons that you can go back and upgrade individually. The humor is fantastic. It's very reminiscent to Shank and Gun Score and Cannoli. Unfortunately for those two games, you can't play them co-op online, which is where they missed the beat, if you ask me. I hope they patch that in. But, you know, you never know. We gotta deal with what we get, what our hands are dealt with. So anyway, basically, like I said, the differences are frame rate, resolution. One's native in 1080p, one's native in 720p. And, of course, the audio fidelity seems to be of a higher HD quality on Xbox One, which is what you probably hear in the foreground in the video. Now, like I said, I believe the loading on the 360, oddly enough, is a little faster. Maybe it's because the Xbox One was refined. It has a new menu. It goes through some other menus before you actually get to the game that were not included on the what you call the the Xbox One version that were not on the 360 version. I'm sorry, forgive me for that. Anyway, and for what I see, I believe the colors on the 360 look a little bit deeper because it has a little more blacks, and on the Xbox One, the colors look a little more natural, of a natural color. They're both the aspect ratio 16:9, which is fantastic. You don't lose none of that element of your field of view. So again, Castle Crashers. Why did I do this side-by-side comparison? Well, to show you the differences, obviously, in real time, in my home, on the same TVs, working on randomly on two different consoles of this that the game is available for. But the main point was to point out that these guys were not greedy. They did it right. They gave it to you free if you already owned it. And if you didn't own it, you only paid $5 because they knew it was the right thing to do. And many other people that bring out remasters, especially in the indie marketplace, should definitely follow suit, which they haven't. So I commend Behemoth. I salute them for being so generous, so kind, and caring for the people that went out and supported this game. And there's a reason why this game is still in the top 10 every time you go of most bought and most played games in Xbox Live and on the Xbox One indie marketplace, because these games were, the way they treated their fans was with love and respect. So for all those who may see this, follow suit, learn, and respect your fans. Thanks for joining me. And the Savage is back. I have more coming up. Don't worry. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Remember, if you subscribe, I really appreciate it because I know you don't have to. But you become part of my family. Xbox for life, like a sickness that can't be cured. And you can also check me out at intromediagaming.com, with my boy Mr. 100, Cyclonus, De Leon, and many others, which is a great gaming site, or in my Facebook gaming group with my boy New Legal Felon, Sean Rollin, and Israel, over there, where you can just chit chat. These guys are not YouTubers, but they're great supporters of YouTubers in the community. And it's called The World of Xbox /device. Thanks again, guys. Ebot is out. I'll see you soon. I'll be right back.